well-being in myself. May everyone abide in well-being, in freedom from hostility, in freedom from ill will, in freedom from anxiety, and may they maintain well-being in themselves. May all beings be released from all suffering, and may they not be parted from the good fortune they have attained. When they act upon intention, all beings are the owners of their action, and inherit its results. Their future is born from such action, companion to such action, and its results will be their home. All actions with intention, be they skillful or harmful, of such acts they will be the heirs.
So again, good morning. I was reflecting that in my entire life, I never have been kind of surrounded or received so messages that people pass away, about impermanence of life. Of course, then mainly because of this 2 years of the COVID, what we're facing in this planet, you can say. I just read it that just in US, 1,000 people pass away just from COVID. So I a few times mentioned a story about my grandma who just passed more than a month ago. After her, and then a week later, my cousin, 53 years old, passed away. My cousin, who we have the same grandma, from her father's side, a month later, lost grandma as well. So she lost 2 grandmas in 1 month. Everything's okay? Okay, yeah. And the cousin who passed away has a son. His wife lost her father at 3 months after her marriage in this year, and just recently her grandfather passed away. So in the small circle of people, so many encounter, and we know that one of our participants lost his grandpa. This is so close to us. And we somehow learn how to face the fact that the loved ones, the close ones, will leave us someday, and prepare ourselves as well. The fact that the impermanence will knock to our door one day. And it's a wonderful story about the Kisa Gotami. Probably some of you heard that. Kisa Gotami lived in the time in the Buddha in the city of Shravasti. She got married with a young, wealthy man and give life to her son. But the baby suddenly became sick and passed away. And she so greatly loved her son that she refused a belief that he's dead. So he's carrying his body around the city of Shravasti and asked everyone who can help her to bring her son to life. And when the people saw her, villagers told her that what you need to do to accept the fact that he's no more, alive and make some arrangements for the funeral service. But she was so greatly grieved, so she kneeled upon her knees and clutched the body of the son to her chest, and already crying and wishing, and I want to bring you to life. How I can bring you to life? And one the elder in the village, out of the compassion, told her, "We cannot help you, but you should go to the Buddha. Maybe he can bring your son to life." So hearing that, was very excited and came to the Buddha. And Buddha says, "Kisa Gotami, I have a way to bring your son to life." And hearing that is, "Oh Lord, I can do anything to bring my son to life." And Buddha says, "In this case, Kisa Gotami, please bring me this master seed. But has to be the master seed from a house when no one residing in the house has ever lost a family member to death." And hearing that was full of hope. "Oh yeah, I will go to every house, or I will bring the sesame seed as you, Lord, told me." And so she came from house to the house, came to the first house, and young woman opened the door, ready to offer her sesame seed, the mustard seed. And after the Kisa Gotami told her that it has to be the sesame seed from the house when nobody passed away, says, I'm sorry, but a few months ago, my grandma passed away." So Kisa Gotami thanked her and explained that this master seed didn't fulfill the Buddha's requirement. Came to another house, and someone opened the door and told her, "I'm sorry. A few weeks ago, my husband passed away." Another house, the uncle passed away, aunt. So she came to every house in the city of Shravasti, and what she encountered, that is no any house free of death. And this came to realization that any house in the world is free of that. So she came to the Buddha comfort her, give her a teaching, and finally she became a nun, entered to Shrotapana, to enter stream, and finally she realized arhatship and learned the lesson that the death is the teacher, and this death is the part of our life. Chinchwancher yesterday talked about the differences between East and West, and we have a lot of discussion in the monastery on this topic. Remember, in the Redwood Vihara, we have a special guest more than a month ago or 2 months ago, I don't remember, the leadership of Forest Sangha came here, Ajahn Pasan, Ajahn Amaro, Ajahn Naniko. And one of the participants asked the question that we live in a very diverse community in the monastery, and give any advice how we can get along, the differences between East and West, and so forth. And it was interesting answer of Ajahn Amaro. He says, besides all the differences, it's important why we are here, why we are in the monastery, why we study the Dharma. Because all of us are brothers and sisters. The sickness old age and death. This is what I bring us here. And all of us has to face it, have to prepare to it, have to understand that fact. And besides any culture, any differences, aging differences, this is something what is very universal in our human condition. And the Buddha give us clear methods how we can kind of relate to this issue. Important one. And we often in the monastery, we are chanting here that I'm the subject to sickness. I've not gone beyond sickness. I'm subject to age. I'm not gone beyond aging. I'm subject to death. I'm not gone beyond death. But I found it an interesting translation of it, but more direct. Okay. Have here. I'm sure to become old. I cannot avoid aging. I'm sure to become ill. I cannot avoid illness. I'm sure to die. I cannot avoid death. I must be separated and parted from all that is dear and beloved to me. And is the final life reflection, and I'm the owner of my actions. Here of my actions. Actions are the womb. Actions are my relations. Actions my protections. Whatever actions I do, good or bad, of this I should become the heir. This is from Bhikkhu Bodhi.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah, please.
Just in that particular chant, I think the actual key reflection is not to say, oh my goodness, I'm going to die, I'm going to get old, I'm going to get sick. But it's that next line that says, I have not gone beyond old age, sickness, and death. So these reflections motivate us to go deeper, to say, there is something beyond old age. There's something beyond sickness. There's something beyond death. And that's what we're trying to do here in the monastery. There's not too many places that do that. Most of the places in the world, we're going there to find some conditioned well-being that will get old, that will get sick, that will die. But in the monastery, we're looking a little bit deeper. And if you go even deeper than that, we're looking for that for all living beings.
Yeah, and I want to add that it's not to Buddha give these recollections to make us depressed somehow. Oh my God, I will die maybe today. But considering the fact that any moment it can happen, any close ones can leave us. This is that we can be prepared and kind of facing the reality, right? It's kind of maybe sobering to some extent. Maybe we don't want to look at on these facts, but it's a kind of great reminder, as also Jun Chuan Shi says, is something more to explore.
Say one more thing.
Yeah.
On that, I'm just reflecting as James Waisher was talking. So now that the weather is changing and it's getting colder and it's getting darker and it's getting wetter, at least here in California, I think what we'll find oftentimes, at least for me, is that the internal mood changes. A little bit more feeling of maybe kind of depressed, kind of yinny. And my sense is that in the practice, we're not trying to say, oh, we're not supposed to have any kind of less energetic states, but rather to really reflect on it. There's these cycles to nature, to weather. but then there's something deeper. So this reflection, look at my current state. I'm here to go deeper than the state. And so any experience we have is actually a potential motivation for spiritual practice. Yeah.
And also, and kind of a reminder, the first fact, we are alive still. We can also cherish those who are around us. You know, this moment, what's happening right now, never will be repeated again. So we can be more mindful, more clear around our actions, our decisions. And like I mentioned a few times, my friend who is director of hospice in Gdańsk, in the north city in Poland, they have hospice for children, and they have a kind of mission statement. They say, we cannot add more days for their lives, but we can add more lives to their days. So we can appreciate those who are around us. And one, maybe I can finish, I don't know how this sounds in English, because it's nicely said in Polish. We have a priest, his name is Poet. He passed away a few years ago. This priest Twardowski. He had a kind of sentence, hurry up to love people, they leave us so quickly. He says, hurry up to love others, they leave us so quickly. So don't refuse to call your grandma or your father or visit them, because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but we still support each other in this. We are brothers and sisters, sickness, old age, and finally we need to leave this world. And okay. Now it's time to practice 3-step 1 bow.